I never imagined that the soft glow of our bedside lamp could cast such long, cold shadows across a marriage. For years, our bedroom was my sanctuary, the place where her warmth pressed against me like a promise that nothing in the world could ever tear us apart. I'd fall asleep to the gentle cadence of her breathing, her arm curled around my waist, and convince myself that intimacy lay in the rhythm of our bodies, perfectly in sync. But over the last few weeks, something shifted. I noticed how she'd slip into bed later and later, phone clutched in her hand as if it were a lifeline. I told myself it was nothing, indeed, she was always meticulous about work emails, that's all. Yet the faint glow beneath the duvet, the way she suppressed laughter into her pillow, planted a seed of doubt in my mind. Late at night, I would lie there, pretending to sleep, lips pressed tight against the fabric of our comforter as I strained to hear the faintest hint of a conversation not meant for me. One morning, I found the bed cold beside me, her side rumpled like a grave. She'd left the way she always did, coffee run, errands, meaningless errands, or so I thought. When she returned that evening, her eyes had a distant spark, and her smile felt rehearsed, as if she were trying to remember what it meant to be genuine. She leaned in for a kiss, but I felt a barrier, an electric calm of betrayal crackling between us. Curiosity and anger gnawed at me until I could no longer pretend. One afternoon, I searched for the spare key in her jewelry box and discovered, tucked beneath perfume samples and old receipts, a narrow envelope. My name wasn't on it. Inside, 2 boarding passes lay side by side, first-class seats to Bordeaux, dated just 3 days away, one addressed to her, the other to a man named Lucas. The quiet weight of that revelation pressed into my chest, and the world tilted on its axis. When she realized I knew, her composure crumbled. I remember how the envelope trembled in her hand as she lifted it from where I'd left it on the dresser. Her eyes, once warm and familiar, glistened with unshed tears. "It's not what you think," she whispered, voice cracking on the verge of confession and regret. But every lie had already slipped away the moment I saw those tickets, proof that our vows, spoken beneath the same roof, had been nothing more than hollow echoes. She tried to explain, a chance meeting at a conference, a friendship that grew into coffee dates, and then, without warning, into something beyond her control. She spoke of stolen moments and guilty thrills, as though her own guilt were a badge of courage rather than betrayal. But her words bounced off me, impotent in the face of the silent evidence. The bed we shared felt enormous and empty, every pillow a reminder of the nights she chose to hide her phone rather than rest beside me. At dawn, she left for the airport, suitcase in hand and eyes cast down. I helped her pack, methodical, each garment folded with trembling precision. I placed our wedding album and her favorite silk robe into a box labeled return. When the taxi arrived, she paused at the door, lips quivering as if to speak one last apology. I only nodded, as though her pain could mitigate the hole she'd carved in my heart. Then she was gone, swallowed by the chill morning mist. In the weeks that followed, our home felt haunted. I avoided the bed, afraid that lying down there would conjure memories I could not bear. I would stand in the doorway of our bedroom, tracing my fingers along the headboard we chose together, wondering how many times she had pressed her body against me with betrayal in her bones. Some nights I'd dream of her laughter echoing from an empty hallway, and wake in a panic, certain she'd come back, only to realize that the betrayal was more permanent than death. Time, they say, heals all wounds. I'm not so sure. The gaping ache she left behind still pulses beneath my ribs, a reminder that even the closest walls can conceal the deepest secrets. And yet, in the quiet hours, when the moonlight drifts across the hardwood floor, I find I can breathe again. I've begun to rebuild, placing a single chair by the window where I used to read to her before sleep. It's a small act, but it reminds me that space can also bring solace, that solitude can teach me to trust myself again. Perhaps one day I'll find someone worthy of sharing that chair, that bed, and the whispered promises within. But for now, I keep the window open to the cool night breeze, letting it carry away the last traces of her perfume. In the hush that follows, I remember what it felt like to rest easy, knowing that no secret lurked in the darkness behind closed doors. It's a lesson learned too late, but one I carry forward with each steady breath and each new sunrise.